Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, August 13th, 2021. Yes, Friday the 13th. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Jonah Booker for his usual Friday visit. Let's start right at the top, my man. CJ Stroud looks like if he doesn't have the job locked down, I mean, he pretty much has the job locked down. That's what I'm hearing. What are you hearing?
Yeah, it sounds like CJ Stroud has this Gary heading to Minnesota preparations. It's his job to lose. And like you said, it sounds like he's going to be the guy. I always said coming into this fall camp that it was going to take someone playing out of their mind and him taking a major step back for him to lose this job. If Ohio State fans had listened to the media days and the coaches talking to the media the other day, they were saying that Stroud has put on 20 pounds in the offseason, so he's really dedicated his body. And from the sounds of it, I know you have intel that said that he had played extremely well in the scrimmage, which you definitely want to hear. I'm excited to see what he has to bring to the table. I know there's a lot of people who think Quinn Ewers is going to come in and automatically take his job, which is not in reality. So CJ Stroud is going to get the keys from what it sounds like to the Lamborghini. And boy, does he have an arsenal of weapons that he's going to be able to spread the ball around to.
Yeah, let's get into the other quarterbacks. So Quinn Ewers is expected to get here. I don't know if he's going to arrive Sunday, but he's expected to get here, at least maybe start practicing Monday at the earliest. I'm on record, my man. I don't think there's any chance that he's going to take many meaningful snaps this year for the Buckeyes, unless we have a 2014 season situation where like a couple guys get hurt, where Stroud and McCord get hurt. What do you make of everything that's going on with Ewers? Do you think there's any chance he's going to play meaningful snaps this year? What are your thoughts on McCord and Miller? Break down the other guys for me.
Yeah, I'll start with Quinn Ewers, and I agree. I do not see him taking any meaningful snaps, and the fans, and you see it all over Twitter and the message boards, thinks that this guy is just going to come in and, jump guys in the pecking order who's been in the offense in the program from several years. They're not basing that on reality. I'll tell you what's going to happen. Ewers is going to come in. They're going to ease him in to get him acclimated to the college football program. He needs to learn the playbook, and then he's going to be on the scout team. He's going to lead the scout team. He's going to be probably the best scout team quarterback in college football. And the way things are going right now, you only have so many practices for fall camp. I say probably in the next week and a half, Ohio State will start exiting fall camp. And once that happens, it's time to start game prepping for Minnesota. So you have to set your depth chart if you haven't already. I'm sure Ryan Day would try to drag this out as long as possible for the other guys. But when you're already in a heated quarterback competition, the reps are going to go to CJ Stroud and McCord and Jack Miller. Ewers may get maybe 10% of the live reps, but you're in a situation right now where he's not going to get a lot of opportunity to beat other guys out. And once you start getting into Minnesota game prep, the quarterback competition is essentially over. Ewers is going to be down there with the other freshmen and the walk-ons and the scout team to mimic the other opposing team's offense going against our defense. Now, he can absolutely go down there and ball out. And that's great because he's going to be playing against college competition ahead of schedule. He's going to learn how fast the college game actually is. Ohio State playbook is not something that you can just come in 2 weeks and master. There's a lot of things that goes on within the nuances of that playbook. Dwayne Haskins and Justin Fields said it took them quite a bit of time to really get the entire playbook. And that's what Ohio State wants to do. They don't want to have a shrunk down playbook be when they don't have to. It's not like Quinn Ewers is coming into a situation where you have Joe Bauserman or Todd Beckman in at the quarterback and you're loaded everywhere else, and the biggest glaring weakness is your quarterback. That's not the case. You have talent there. You have 2 5-stars and Stroud and Kyle McCord and Jack Miller. And from the sounds of it, it looks like Kyle McCord is probably going to be the backup quarterback. I saw that he just got his black stripe removed yesterday, and Jack Miller will be in there as probably the third string quarterback. But as Ryan Day said, you never know. You may have to use all of these guys if the injury bug strikes. And that's the only situation where I see Quinn Ewers playing meaningful snaps. What you're getting from him right now is a kid that's going to be making a boatload of money from NIL. He's starting the clock a little bit earlier. He's going to come in, learn the playbook as he goes along throughout the season. And then once the spring hits, he's going to battle CJ Stroud for that starting position. And at that time, all bets are off.
All right, let's look at the offensive line, specifically one guy, one massive man, Dawand Jones. J-Book, is Dawand Jones, is this the story of camp? He's going to be the starting right tackle. Is that the story of camp so far?
I love what I'm hearing from Coach Stud about Dawand Jones. And I thought it was big when he said he didn't love football coming in. He played it because he was so big. He was good at it, but he didn't love it. He wasn't all in. And now that he is, it tells you the potential that he has. And just listening to the comments from the coaches, for them to heap such praise on someone, I take it very serious. When they say he is dominant at pass rushing, that once he locks in on you, it's a wrap. And it's not like he's going against guys, in max schools. He's going against some of the best competition day in and day out in practice. And if he is dominating those guys, that tells me that he is going to be an absolute stud. And it's a true testament to how good he could potentially be that you see such a massive shakeup. I mean, if you look at Pro Football Focus, they had Thayer Mumford as one of the best tackles in all of college football, and you're going to kick him inside to the left guard spot. That tells me that Dawand Jones definitely is the story of camp. He is going to be absolute mauler on that right side, 6'8", 330 plus. And this is probably going to be one of the most.
Get out of here with 330. He's listed. He is listed at 360. Stud referred to him as 370. I'm going at least 380 on my man. I tell you what, he moves like he's 250 though.
What do you think about this? I mean, you've been covering the Ohio State, program for years. Where do you think this offensive line, when it comes to potential, how good they can be? I mean, I'm going to go over the top and say this could be one of the best offensive lines that we've seen in a long time. Because you look at Thayer Mumford, you look at Nicholas Petit-Frere, those are NFL guys. Harry Miller was a 5-star. If he can, settle in at that center position, you're talking about a 5-star there. I mean, and Paris Johnson, another 5-star at the right guard position. I mean, it's ridiculous how good this offensive line has the potential to be.
You're exactly right. This will be right up there with 1994, 96. Most recently, I would say 2013, that line that had Taylor Decker and Jack Mewhort, Corey Lindsley, and Andrew Norwell, Marcus Hall. Pat Elfline, as a redshirt freshman, was the first guy off the bench, just in case Marcus Hall got ejected for giving our friends up north the double bird, just in case that would happen. I love that 2013 line, not just because of that, but, I mean, that was a great line, and they've proven the NFL to go on top of it. But, yeah, man, I mean, this starting lineup alone, let's say they didn't have much depth, but you said, okay, we're going to give you a starting five of from left to right, Petit-Frere, Thayer Mumford, Harry Miller, Paris Johnson, and Dawand Jones. Okay, you'd be like, all right, we'll get some decent walk-ons after that. We'll be good to go. How about then the second team? is, guys like Donovan Jackson, 5-star, Josh Fryer, a guy that they absolutely love, Luke Whippler, a guy they absolutely love, Matt Jones at left guard, a guy that we all thought, myself included, would be starting this year, started 3 games last year and played well. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then Enoch Vamahi at left tackle. He's been more of an inside guy, but he's playing left tackle in that second team. It's not coach speak. If Stud was saying those guys would start at most programs, they would. And I think they particularly like Fryer and, Donovan Jackson for the future, but I'm talking about this year. Donovan Jackson is a true freshman, just making that top 10. His hats off to him. Whippler at center, I know they like him a lot. Matt Jones, they like him a lot. They feel like they have 10 starters. They got probably at least 8. I won't be surprised if they rotate a little bit. And you're right, this will go down, I think, as one of the better offensive lines in Ohio State history.
And on the message boards and social media, Stud gets a bad rap from a lot of people within the fan base. And I look at this offensive line and the guy and the way that the offensive line has developed over the last several years. To me, he's done a remarkable job developing his guys. You look at Fryer, you look at Dawand Jones. He's done a really good job with the 3-star guys. Obviously, when you recruit the offensive line, you want to get as many bodies in there. Not everybody's going to pan out, but for the most part, the top end guys have pretty much panned out under Stud, and he's getting the most out of those guys. I was just reading the Athlon Sports college football preview, and I was just going over the Clemson section. And one of the biggest things that Clemson was harping on was how dominant Ohio State offensive line was against their front seven. And Clemson was saying that was a major emphasis for them in the offseason, is to get bigger, to get stronger, to get more nastier, because Ohio State offensive line exposed them. And just hearing that coming from another national championship contender program tells you how good this offensive line play has been under Stud.
No doubt about it. And by the way, Bucknutters, I know Marcus Hall did not get ejected for giving the double bird. He had already got ejected, then gave the double bird. Regardless, it was fantastic. All right, let's close the show talking about some linebackers. Got a chance to interview linebackers yesterday. 2 really encouraging things, because like on the show Wednesday, Bax and I talked about how we're concerned about the linebackers. So, guys have been banged up. Ryan Day seemed concerned, but optimism now is starting to swirl, J-Book. I'm hearing good things about 2 guys in particular. I'm not talking about the bullet, but Cody Simon, Taraja Mitchell, hearing good things about those guys. What are your thoughts overall on those 2 guys and just the linebacker situation as a whole for the Bucs?
Yeah, same thing I'm hearing. Those 2 names are the ones that are really jumping out when it comes to practice. Cody Simon has really transformed his body as well. He's been in the Body by Coach Mick program, where he's put on a ton of weight, but was able to maintain his speed and his explosion. If you listen to Taraja Mitchell talk about him, he heaps a lot of praise and talk about how good of a linebacker he's going to be, and thinks that Cody Simon is going to be special. But we've all been waiting for Taraja Mitchell. The time is now. From what I've been hearing, he's somewhat of like the coach on the field, even though he hasn't played a significant amount of reps. He's been with Al Washington for so long that he's somewhat considered the veteran presence with that linebacker unit. I do think that there is some concern with the linebackers when it comes to the youth and inexperience, and if they're going to be able to play down in and down out at a high level, because you're losing 2 guys in Baron Browning and Pete Werner, who's going to be making NFL rosters on day 1. So I do see the concern there, but I think they have the potential to be solid. I don't know how good they're going to be, but as the season progresses, the entire defense will need to step up, because I've also heard people saying that they're concerned about the secondary. Now, obviously, you're going against the best wide receiver room in college football. It was in a boarding house where, one of the sources said, I would take Ohio State's wide receiver room over the Detroit Lions. I even argue I would take him over my Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver room as well. So that could be why the defensive backs are having somewhat covering issues in camp. But the linebackers, they'll be okay because the defensive front is going to be so dominant. So that's going to help them quite a bit when it comes to staying clean from deep offensive linemen getting to the second level. It's just a matter of they have to stay healthy. When it comes to Simon and Taraji Mitchell, you can't afford to have those guys go down because things are still a little sketchy with Dallas Gant. You don't know what he's going to be. So those next wave of guys, if they're thrown into the fire, is pretty much going to be, a baptism by fire on the spot if they need to learn on the job.
Fantastic stuff as always from Jonah Booker. Thank you very much, J Book. Thank you to all the listeners out there for tuning in to the show. We appreciate that very much. Hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend. Let's hear the Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.